Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are just to the west of you, Coach, on the Gulf Coast of Florida at Raymond James Stadium, just north of downtown Tampa. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Miami Dolphins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Godden alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you take a look at this Buccaneer ball club. They come in on a pretty good roll here, winners of 3 straight. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they come in off the very rare tie a game ago.
And it'll be interesting to see what their mindset is going into this game. Sometimes that can be a deflator, and sometimes that can just really make you mad and more determined the next time out.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Off the play fake, Winston. And he finds a man with a crossing route. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. A good safe pass there right off the bat.
That's almost a rhythm play. That's what we like to call it. Get them into rhythm early, something safe, something they're confident about, something they feel good. And once that's completed, then you just keep moving from there because the confidence elevates.
Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go,
Nyheim Hines, his first carry. And he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he will force his way forward for a yard or 2, but I have a good feeling this will be coming back. You need your wide receivers as blockers. Sometimes they get a hold.
The big runs are often a result of what they do on the perimeter. In this case, got caught holding, and this one will come back.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go. Hey, watch set. Hey, alert, alert. 54. Right, 54. Coming in. Set. Yes.
3rd and long here for Rosen. Flushed out right. Now he's going to go deep down the left side. And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Call that a gain of 38. A big march forward on the third down conversion.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Gus Edwards, his second touchdown on the season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in. But I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Winston, a handoff. This is Jones. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And he's got a man. It's the tight end, Howard, complete. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder, and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League.
That it has. When he has to make that throw on a line, he's got plenty of arm to do it.
2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football.
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. And now a jet sweep. This is Evans with it. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on, how about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over. And it's a big kick, but now we just, if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one covers 29 yards, first down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
They'll try to run with Hines. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Nyheim Hines, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves them with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll send you cross-state to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have all the stats and all the scores from games going on during another busy Sunday in the National Football League. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down. Throwing, Winston. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Christian Wilkins in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year. Christian Wilkins in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Right now in the second quarter on the defensive side, they got to feel pretty good about what they're doing.
They should embrace the feeling they have now, embrace the way that they're playing, and continue that through the half. I know defensive coordinators, sometimes they overthink it, start wondering how they're going to be attacked. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's working.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Final 17 seconds of the half here as they come up to the line, 1st and 10. Now Rosen looking to throw, and that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. He was looking for his running back, Nyheim Hines, but it'll be 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Rosen. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. There on the coverage, knocking that one away, was Mike Edwards. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. From the gun, it's Rosen. Got a man open, it's Ross. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. They'll run for it. It's Edwards. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0. As we send you a stone's throw away across I-4 to Orlando. There standing by is Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
Okay, all right, Brandon, thank you very much. Hi again, everyone. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the NFL as we are officially into the second half of the season. We'll get started up at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. And it's the Lions who hold on to the lead in that one. Matthew Stafford's thrown a touchdown pass. Next, we'll stay in the AFC South as we fly through Kentucky and on down to Nashville to check on the Tennessee Titans. And you can see there it's the visiting Colts who have the lead in that one. T.Y. Hilton, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the visiting 49ers. Andrew Luck has thrown a touchdown pass. In our game, it's been the UCLA man, Josh Rosen, with the strong first half. His guys have a 2-touchdown lead as we hand it back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down. Those are the type of runs that we did not see from him in the first half, but a good start to the third quarter.
And I know what everyone's thinking that's watching this. They did a great job adjusting at the half. Oftentimes you don't make adjustments. You just dial into your game plan a little bit better, and maybe they're starting to make some headway.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Rosen will throw. He's going to have the hook up to Ross. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. The catch and run good for 24 yards.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
On 2nd down, it's Edwards. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A gain there of 21 yards.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Completes it to the tight end, Smythe. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. This is Hines. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4.
The running game's played a huge part in getting him down to this point on the field. I say stay with it. Keep pounding the football. Keep driving. Keep grinding.
Yeah, even down in the red zone, keep going for it.
No doubt about it. Dance with what brung you.
Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Now a toss play. It's Hines. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Nyheim Hines with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Jameis Winston and the rest of the Bucs set to begin this next drive. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to it.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. To throw, Winston. And that is incomplete here.
Not sure what you're thinking here, partner, but I believe the officials have done a nice job here getting together and then coming out and indicating that there was a receiver in the area.
Absolutely, and he was in the... And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes the score 28-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talked about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
Deep in there, right? And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. On third down, Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Christian Wilkins in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. Here's Bradley Pinion now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here comes Grant on the return. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Flush to his right. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. They're still throwing the football here, and obviously the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of running play. Short little passes may work in exchange.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Well, it was 2nd long, now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down.
45. Mike, 45.
Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. And that is incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely, just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here?
Yeah, anything. Change it up, because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
The Bucs on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Jameis to throw it. This pass complete to Reynolds. He's at the 30, past the 20. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Josh Reynolds, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs are able to cut into that deficit. It was 3rd and medium. They popped the short pass, looking to pick up the first, accomplish that mission, and then they accomplished a lot more on that mission all the way for the score.
Let me focus in on one word you used, pop, right? They popped the short pass, and then what happened after that? They popped the big run. Because now, once he caught it, didn't have anyone else in the vicinity to bring him down, and he takes off, and he kept going. Nice gutsy call, even better execution.
Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all, and if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them. I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Vita Vea able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
Now it's Rosen. The open man is Smith. How about 25 yards on 3rd down? They'll take it.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. He was looking to get it to Parker again, but it's going to be 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Devontae Parker was the intended receiver, and now it's 3rd down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And they'll try to squeeze in one more play here before the 2-minute warning. They'll run here with Edwards. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Gus Edwards, his second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
This is fielded at the goal line. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now. And if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Let him know, let him know. Let him know, let him know. Let him go.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. Open man is Howard, the tight end. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. Third down turns to first with that 5-yard pickup. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Winston, that's caught by Hollister. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now Winston, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. That's complete to Meredith. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 41-yard line. The Bucs forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. Winston in the offense with a 1st and 10, and he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. Here's Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jerome Baker in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So for the Dolphins, that's now 5 wins on the campaign as they get the job done here. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to New England to take on the Patriots. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, the